Hey guys, how are we doing? Last night was a late nighter. Got a bunch of work done, and I'm glad to have gotten that far. Well, those ones where the wife calls you, it's 11 o'clock at night. You thought it was like 7. It means you're getting into it. But anyway, there's that pan where the battery goes. It's got a new one inside there, and that's all tacked to the walls. And then it's solid welded across where the metal is thicker, being right there, and again to the wheel well right there. It's hard welded. And I was going to run a bar from the top down to support that pan, but I don't think it's going to need it. Those two plates right there are urethane, window urethane. I took that's what I used to attach it to the back walls, and then I welded to those with spot welds so I didn't generate too much heat and blow that cement out of there. But it made for a good patch. And then I got the floor in and installed, and about 200 welds later, I kind of copied what the old pattern was, which was pretty much every other rib got a spot weld on it, and then I just tacked it all around the walls on the outside, except for that outside skirt over there. And again, across the back, it's got a bunch of caterpillars welding it together. Then I ordered that Sikaflex metal to metal sealer. Unfortunately, the stuff that I got, here it is right here, but the stuff that I got was no good. It was already kicking, already curing. And of course I got it on eBay, and I called the guy back, and he checked his stock and found out it was failing also. So I ended up having to, so he refunded it. Anyway, so I dug some of that out with a screwdriver and was out of the side of the tube, and was able to get some under there. I don't know how well that's going to bond to it, but unfortunately it's already in there. So worst case scenario, I may have to drill through and put a couple of spot welds in that too. But I kind of wanted to leave that pliable, glued together, so to speak. But I still have to run a weld around here. This is welded to there's a beam right here, so the latch itself is really strong. It's welded back to the body, but I want the pan also welded to it, and fill in some of these. Then I moved to the top, and as you can see, I started welding in a bunch of rails going across, and I did jack up on some of them to help repair some of the bows, but I didn't want to overdo it. So this is probably one of the worst ones. You can see what that dips down. All these are straight on top, so that'll give you a nice flat platform to weld to. There's 7 of them in there now. I got to get some more metal. You can see it gives me a nice level surface to weld the decking on. Decking's all cut up and ready to go. I wanted to make sure that I got the pieces out of the 8-footers before I started making all my patches, so that's what I got left over. And I know that I won't screw up and cut the wrong stuff out. And over here, if you remember before, this was all rotted out on the top, so this is another one of these beams inlaid into here. So again, I cut the top out, took the wall, kicked the wall over, and laid this down inside, and then bent the wall back to it and welded to it. So I gave that side nice strong, a nice 7-foot continuous weld right here that I ground down. So this is the beam, and then the beam goes down and back. So this is the wall that was left on the outside. And when I cut the decking, this decking, I left it about an 1/8 inch back, so it'll have a reveal of about that much. So it'll give me a good place to run a weld bead down the top of that and grind it. So if you remember before, it looked something like this on top. Now it looks like that. So I went shopping, bought a bunch of stuff. Been coming in bits and drabs. Got this was Harbor Freight. These were 4 for $8, being $2 a piece. They're D-ring mounts, and they want you to use 1/4-inch bolts to go down in between it and bolt through it. I am in turn going to plug weld those 2 holes, and I think that will help hold it down. I don't want to put any holes in the top deck whatsoever. I kind of want to let it be one solid member, so that you don't have any leaks going into the top of it. So there's 8 of them. They'll go on spaced out accordingly. I got 4 window seals, you know, the front windows. I got 4 of those. 2 are for the single cab and 2 are for the 67 because they leak. I grabbed a couple of carb kits while I was placing my order. Both of these could use an accelerator pump. They both kind of dribble a little bit. So I grabbed a pair of those. Shift coupler. I bought a new shift coupler. As you can see, this is the old one, so the new one's already installed. New master cylinder. What we got here? We got the rubber for the rear engine hatch. Complete hardline brake line kit. And we got a speedometer cable. And we have a clutch cable. And another clutch cable. The reason why, because there's an early and a late 59, and they're 2 different sizes, right? So I ended up grabbing both. Fortunately, they were $6 a piece, so it doesn't really matter. And the other one will be a victim for the trike out back, which has a cable that's made up size. I'll just use whatever one is left over and cut that one up for the trike. It needs one anyway. And then, of course, a throttle cable. And again, they're cheap too. All the cables are just a few bucks. They're all under $10 a piece. So I still need 2 emergency brake cables, and I'm sure when I pop the wheels off, wheel cylinders, flex lines, all that kind of stuff. But that's good enough to get me going for now, you know, run all the hard lines, that kind of thing. So pulled that front pan down when I was doing the shift coupler. What do you think? And here's a good mouse nest too, huh? Right? Like, where would you get that much material out of this thing? The only thing it has is a seat. I don't even think that stuff's even in there. So, well, it's looking nice and solid. It's finally getting back together, and we start feeling like you're getting somewhere. You can look underneath, you can kind of see it's. Well, the lighting kind of sucks, but you get the idea. You can see that the bottom is nice and solid again. Here's that material that I ended up using, and of course I went to go put in a caulking gun, and it went to almost to the tip and just couldn't push it out anymore, and then it just ruptured the container. So I went with my screwdriver and just dug some of the shit out of the center of it for that area there. And he said, try the other one just in case, and I tried the other one. As you can see, it's bulging out of the container also. So contacted him. He did refund. He found out his stuff, his stash that he had it was no good also, so he ended up pulling all his listings and not selling it anymore. But I'm going to stick with the windshield urethane, you know, that black tacky stuff. That stuff seems to do pretty good, so we're going to stick with that, and it's easy to get to. Oh, before I forget, keep forgetting, we got license plates. Yes, we do. So it is all legal and tender mine, and that kind of makes you feel a little bit better. You're not doing it all for nothing. Guess that's really about it. I'm gonna go take off now and pick up 2 more sticks of 24-foot 1x2 14 gauge wall. They're $33 a piece. Again, I still have 3 more ribs to do, and then I'm going to insert one on each side of the gate to help rebuild the gate. So the gates are 9 feet long, so 1 stick alone will take care of both gates, and then I should be able to get the last 3 ribs that I need for the back support, and that will help make everything nice and strong. I did an addition too. I don't know if you could see it. Yeah. It's got like an upper rail and a lower rail, and there's not very many many places where they kind of are tied together to help support it. And it seems like the last place that they have is kind of like this firewall. It's dark. There's a wall down in here, and that kind of supports this rail. And it seems like this kind of hangs off of it. After that, there's really nothing. It goes all the way to the front, with nothing attaching to it to there. So your only real attachment points for the main rail is there and there. So my figuring is the back of it's, you know, a little compromised. If you can have ramps going up to the decking and driving stuff up, it's pushing a lot of weight on the back of it, and a lot of the sheet metal is kind of iffy. So I ran another beam right there from the top one to the bottom one to help just transfer that load, so it's not everything hanging. Again, that's supposed to help support it, but that's kind of on the ratty side also. So you got a support there, and then about another 1.5 feet back there's another support here, so that should do it. Yeah, it looks much better. And the big gaping holes that you saw before, right? Get a lot of smoke ash on there from the welder. And there's the underneath. I had to go disconnect the shifter so I can get the coupler in there. But there's the pan down. It actually looks pretty good underneath there. Here's the crusty master cylinder. And it just has a bunch of mud packed up and stuff too, so. And then I think I'm gonna blast some paint before I put the top deck on. I'm gonna paint down below after I get the sealer on it, and I'll tape off the top of these so I have a good welding surface to put the skin on. But I want to get a bunch of paint in there because it'll be real hard to do later on once the decking is on. I highly recommend, if you could remove the top of your car that you're working on to do repairs on the lower level, it makes life a lot easier. Kind of like you feel like working in a jail, working between the bars. You got the welding gun coming down, and you got the line in between. Of course, now you're working over there, and you end up snaking the thing through, and you got to back up and undo it. But it's definitely a lot easier than trying to do all the welding from down below. And as far as the color, I'm going to try to match the blue that's on it. I think it's called Dove Blue. And I'm a cheap bastard, so I'm just going to use what I have laying around. And what I have laying around is this is about 3/4 of a gallon of safety blue. And if you look at it, it's not terribly off as far as the color. It's darker blue. So I'm going to cut that with, I have some dark gray, smoke gray. So I'll take the smoke gray and the blue, and I'll do my best to try to blend them together to get the color that closely resembles the outside, so that when you open the treasure chest and you look inside, it's just going to look like a nice virgin space that's never been used before. And so I'll be able to paint in all down below, and then after the decking's on, I'll come in one last time, try to crawl inside there and shoot some paint up on the raw metal underneath. And it's probably going to get oiled afterwards also, but I want to get some kind of paint, at least in this part of it, So, all right, guys, well, I've been rambling. I'm going to go shut you down, put you in the computer, let you get uploaded, and I'm going to go get some more metal, turn the heater up, and continue on and see if I can maybe get this decking on by tonight. All right, thanks again. Take care. Bye.